Welcome to the Specs Howard School of Media Arts Graphic Design Demo Days. Tonight, you'll get a first look at our graphic design program, its curriculum, and the services available to our students. In addition, you'll also get a demonstration of one aspect of web design as you would experience it in the graphic design program. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box and we'll try to give you an immediate response. Specs Howard staff speaking without masks are practicing proper social distancing. At the end of our demo day, you will learn how you can enroll in graphic design with our new contactless enrollment process. Right now, let's get started by welcoming your host for this evening, Chris Cruz.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Demo Days here at the Specs Howard School of Media Arts. My name is Chris and I'm a high school advisor for the school as well as an admissions advisor. So here at Specs Howard we have three amazing programs, but today we're going to focus on one, graphic design. We started our graphic design program back in 2008 just due to a huge demand from traditional designers and web designers as well. And we have a lot of graduates that have gone through the program that are now working for some really amazing companies. So here's a look at what tonight holds. We're going to meet some of your instructors from our graphic design program. We'll learn about the curriculum and have a live graphic design demo. We'll explore our student support like financial aid and career services and visit with some of our graduates. So one question we get asked about 10,000 times a day here at the school is, can I get financial aid? We do have financial aid available for those who qualify, and to get you more details, here's Angela Burt.
Thanks, Chris. My name is Angela Burt, and I'm the director of the financial aid department, and I'm here today to just talk a little bit more about the financial aid process. Financial aid is educational expenses, and they can come in the form of grants and loans. And here at Specs Howard School, students can apply for federal Pell Grant funding as well as federal SEOG funding and federal direct loans, meaning subsidized, unsubsidized, and plus loans. I don't think it's a hard process to apply for financial aid at Specs Howard School because the students can go online, complete the FAFSA form. Once you complete the FAFSA form, a financial aid advisor will contact you. And if you're having trouble completing the form online, we even have it set up where you could come in or even possibly have a Zoom meeting, or we can even do it via telephone. So I think we have different options so students don't have to sit at home and be frustrated. The financial aid department at Specs is here to help you. I think it's a myth that goes around that you can apply for financial aid during certain times of the year. Here at Specs Howard School, you're applying for federal financial aid funding. So you're able to do that year-round, just like our classes start year-round. So the financial aid process can be done at any time of the year. We are unique in so many ways. First of all, I have an awesome staff here to help serve our students and parents. We're excited to have you come to school. We're here to help you in every way and every aspect of the financial aid process, which means you don't have to sit at home and be frustrated. Our financial aid department is here to answer questions, whether you're the type of person that needs in-person financial aid to handle that process, or whether you need to do it via Zoom or telephone. That's what makes us unique. We have more than one way to complete the financial aid process, and we're here to hold your hand during that whole process. A person can qualify for direct loan funding, subsidized and unsubsidized, and that has nothing to do with your credit. So no, you do not have to have good credit in order to apply for the financial aid process. Yes, Specs Howard School does accept tuition assistance, but that's something that you would have to pursue on your own from your employer. You'd have to contact your human resource department at work to find out if you're eligible for tuition assistance, and also make sure that it applies to our programs here at the school. And if you're a dependent student, which means that your parents carry you on their health insurance, then your parent would have to contact their human resource department to see if they offer tuition assistance for dependents. I just want you to know that if you have any questions regarding a possible unique situation, or if you think your situation is unique, you can always give us a call here at Specs Howard School. We are here to help you. Thank you guys. And Chris, hey, I'm turning it back over to you.
The Specs Howard School of Media Arts was formed all the way back in 1970, originally as a broadcasting school. Now, we've branched out a lot since then, but if you did the math, you figured out 2020 is our 50th anniversary. For years, we've been inducting Specs Howard graduates into our Specs Howard Hall of Fame, and this year we inducted 50 new members, including graphic design graduates for the very first time. When you enroll in our graphic design program at Specs Howard, we're going to loan you a MacBook Pro loaded with all the Adobe software you need to make stuff pretty much anywhere you can get a Wi-Fi connection. So to find out more about what you're going to learn in graphic design, let's talk to Nancy Cohen.
My name is Nancy Cohen, and I am a graphic design instructor at the Specs Howard School of Media Arts. The graphic design program at Specs Howard is very much a hands-on program. You will get one-on-one time with your instructor every week. You will always have somebody, you will always have a way to reach them, either by message and sometimes every now and then by phone. We are very responsive. We get back to you quickly, where we give honest help, and we're there for you when you get into a little bit of trouble. The situation is such that anybody can design a logo. The software that we have is available to the general public. Anybody can, have a fluke and design a great logo one time. But that's not what makes a real professional designer. What makes a real professional designer is someone who understands the process of design. And that's what we really try to emphasize as you go through this program. We want you to understand that you first come up with a lot of ideas and you make a lot of doodles. In fact, if you were someone who got in trouble in high school for doodling when you were supposed to be listening, you belong here because we want you to doodle. You're going to do a lot of different ideas, then you're going to start narrowing them down, putting them on the computer, tweaking them, honing them, deciding between what works best, working with the rest of the class to come up with better ways to show your ideas. You're going to learn how to communicate and then ultimately how to come up with a great product for every assignment. We offer 2 classes each semester, just like the other programs. In your first semester, you'll be getting the intro to all the software that we'll be using, with the exception of web, which you get in your second semester. You'll also get an introduction to all the basics of graphic design, including all the elements like color and typography, and the principles that we use to help us understand how those elements work. Also, we will teach you the history of graphic design, at least back for the last 100 years or so you can understand where we've been and where we're going. In our second semester, you get your first taste of web design, and hopefully you're going to love that. And then we talk also about, we have another class called Branding and Identity, where you're going to learn how large companies brand themselves, and also you will take the process into your own hands and you will choose a company that you will brand from the ground up. In your last semester, you're going to be taking all the skills that you learned in your first 2 semesters, and you're going to be applying them to more advanced projects in a class that we call Advanced Projects. You will also be putting together your in-person portfolio and your online portfolio, and you will be working with the careers department to prepare you to go out and get your first job. I think the most successful students are the ones who don't give up, the ones who continue to work on, change, to say, what if I tried this, or what if I tried that? So it's that exploration, that curiosity that makes for a really good designer, especially when they leave here.
Thanks, Nancy. Now let's toss it over to Jeremy Anderson to demonstrate how building a website really isn't so scary.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Anderson. I'm the Director of Education here at Specs Howard School of Media Arts. And today we are here to talk about a demonstration in graphic design curriculum. Today we're going to look at web design, and specifically one of the courses, Web Design Essentials, within the graphic design curriculum. We're going to talk about web design, we're going to talk about WordPress, and show you how, as visual designers, this world's not too scary. So let's go ahead and get into the demo. So starting off, I want to show you some student work that shows you where you're going to finish off when you do this web curriculum. So we have a website here from a current student. You're going to see some of these pieces that we're going to learn along the way, like header graphics here, and we have some navigation. And as we scroll this page and look at some of the pieces that are built in here, you're going to see that we can place text, we can place images, and as we continue to scroll down, we have a nice long page full of content. And as you scroll back up here, you can see that we have some various navigation that we are going to teach you about too. This is called anchor links or anchor navigation. And when we scroll through these different pieces, you can see it jumps to the exact section that we need to. We also have a multi-page website here, so you can see some of the various forms that we're going to teach. All of this is done inside of WordPress. All of this is done without code. That's an amazing thing, because the world of web design is not scary as it once used to be. And oftentimes when we hear things like web design, we think just HTML, just CSS. But as visual designers, we can create an entire website with little to no code. Now this is how it's done. Now we're going to jump over into WordPress, and All WordPress sites start off with a blank page just like this. When we get in here, and of course there's a little things that are done ahead of time, from picking themes that we'll teach you about, to optimizing images, which we'll teach you about. So skipping into some of those things, we start building a web page. We have a blank canvas right here. And one of these tools that we're going to teach you about is called Elementor. This is a plugin for WordPress that is a visual designer's dream. We can see here that we have two icons on the screen, a plus and a folder. This plus allows us to add what's called widgets. And these widgets are visual sections that we can use to drop content, from images to text to whatever the case might be. So we're going to start off here by hitting this plus to add a section. And we can create different column widths as well. And we're going to create a graphic right up at the top. So we're going to choose this one here, which is a full width section. Now, in Elementor, everything that we're going to do from settings goes onto the sidebar right here. This sidebar has three different options: layouts, style, and advanced settings. This is where we can get back into some of the code. We're going to start off with style because we want to put an image right here so we can start to see it. So we click the style tab and we have all the different style settings that are available to us. We're going to choose classic. Classic allows us to choose a solid color or an image. Now, we've preloaded a few images in here. Again, we talk about image optimization and prepping images for the web along the way. We'll choose a graphic and insert media. And you can see that this graphic has been placed here. It's a little sliver right now inside of this space. While we're still on the Style tab, we can choose some various things like the position of the image. So where in this box does it start? And I'm going to choose center so that no matter how wide or how responsive that design or that web page is, it's always going to scale that image accordingly. We can also choose the size to cover, and this is going to say I'm going to cover this entire box no matter how wide or how small it gets. If we go over to the layout section, we can choose some of the different things that we see with this actual section. So right now we have a boxed format. We could choose this to be full width if we wanted. This is just going to contain the content either to a certain width or to the full width. We can choose how much spacing is between each column. Right now we have one column, so we can leave that as default. And we can talk about the height. And right now we said this is a little sliver. So we could say we want this to be a minimum height. I want to control how tall this actual box is. So if I can change this minimum height, came in at 400, maybe we'll go a little bit taller than that. And we can see that this content is a little bit wider. And as I choose this slider here, you can even see that we get a little bit more or a little bit less depending on what we're looking for. So we'll choose 550 is our final number that we'll look at for this box width. Now, we chose this as a background image, and what this background image will allow us to do is place stuff over top of it. So if I come back to these 9 dots up in the upper right corner of this sidebar, I can go back and choose other widgets that we can put into this space. So I'm going to take a heading, which is going to be text, and drag that right out onto the canvas. And you can see there's a little blue line right there that says this is where I'm placing this image. By default, we're going to see this text come in here, left align, and blue. But I can, of course, change my alignment. I can, of course, change my text. And, of course, I can go back to my Style tab, and I can change my color with a little slider, as well as typography, not only the font family, but the size of the font as well. And this makes it so that we can literally make these changes visually and see everything that's happening right there, right in front of us all at the same time. As we continue designing a page, we can bring out other sections by continuing to hit these icons down below. Or we can drag widgets directly into the space from coming back to these 9 dots and bringing what we want into the section. I always like to control how many columns we have from the start, so maybe I'll choose this time a 2-column layout. You can see here that these 2 sections have been created for us, just like the one above, but this time evenly split in half. We can bring out a text widget this time. Once again, looking for that blue line. And we can do it again into the next section. Now, by default, once again, we have text placed here, so we can choose this particular widget. and paste some text. Now I've already copied some lorem ipsum text for us, and we can come back here and paste it again. Now lorem ipsum text is just dummy text, generic text that we use in the world of design to just placehold that text. Now, one of the great things too that we have inside of an Elementor designer like this is, again, if I go back to this box here and choose my style, I can once again choose things like the color. I can once again choose things like the typography and choose the different font family or the overall size of that text. I can continue to control this box and say, hey, I want this entire section to no longer be boxed. I want it to go full width. And remember, we can have that, and we see that little bit of difference that's happening right there. In the Advanced tab, we have things like padding and margins where we can increase some space around each of these sides, and we can see we have a little bit of space added to the top, bottom, left, and right of each section. One of the reasons I love something like Elementor is it allows us to do quick shortcuts as well. And I can take this text editor, once I've designed it the way that I want it, I can quickly right-click and copy this section. And I can go over to another text section, right-click, and paste the style. And just that quickly, we have the same design on both sides, the same font family, the same color, the same space, the same all of that fun stuff. So it really makes our designs super easy to work with. If we decide we don't like something later on, we can, of course, just simply quickly right-click and delete a section. And now we lose one of those columns, and we come back to this one column full width section. So Elementor makes our design choices really easy. Another great thing about this is this other icon here, and when we work with Elementor, Elementor is a freemium plugin, which means there are going to be some paid and some free options. Of course, we stick with the free options in there, but instead of doing everything manually, there are blocks or pages that we can start from as well, and sometimes we make choices like that. I can choose a section like this here that I like, and I can preview it by simply clicking on it and see how this would look, or I can insert it right into my document as well by simply hitting the insert button. Now this will take a second to load into the screen depending on how you're doing or how many images are in there, but you can see just that quickly we have another section that was created for us. We can once again click on each one of these widgets and change the text. So we're talking about Web Design Essentials. We can once again click on the text, go to the Style tab, and again change that color so that we can see it a little easier, or change all the things like the width and all that. We have buttons that we can send to various links. So if we wanted to read more about this, we could simply come here and say https://www.spexhoward.edu, where you could read more about the program. Another nice thing about Elementor and as a visual designer is you can get really fancy with these sections as well. So if I come back up to, say, this image right here, we can look at some of these sections like this Style tab here, and we can look at some of these sections like the Shape divider. And maybe I don't want just this straight-edged image, and I want to do something a little bit more fancy with it. So I could say on the bottom of this image, I would like to have a cloud pattern. And you can see that I quickly can make a different shape to my images and make something a little bit more interesting than just that rectangular look of that. We can choose how big those clouds are or small. We can flip them around. We can invert them. Or we can bring them forward if we needed to based on the coloring that we're using with the different sections. We have some wave patterns. We have all kinds of little options for us by default. I like just a simple little subtle tilt to it as well. And again, you can change that height how you want. Again, this just makes it a little bit more interesting than just a standard rectangle. So we can get a little bit fancy too. As we come down to another section down below, as we create one of these areas here, we can even bring out other widgets that are built in, like video or images or galleries. So if I were to bring out, say, an image button here, we can choose just one singular image in this space and have something like that right here in the canvas. Now, remember what we said, we have multiple columns and multiple column widths. So we could look at one of these sections and say, hey, I actually like something like this for the section. And you can make design choices later where I don't want this one singular column, so I'm going to take this image here. I'm going to drag this down below into a new section. Sometimes it gets sticky and it doesn't want to go. So we'll bring it out this way. And we'll bring out an image into this section. And we can create that same image right here and decide, hey, I don't like this section anymore, and I'll just simply X and delete that section. Now, going back up top here, remember we can right-click, we can duplicate. So instead of always bringing and always starting the content out from the start, we can bring these sections and we can drag these sections around depending on what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish within this space. Or, again, we can always bring out each section individually, drag them in, simply right-click and paste style like we looked at up above. Okay? And just to fill that space in a little bit more, we'll copy and paste that again. So we can create different sized columns, and again, as a visual tool, we can drag and drop the size and create that section how we see fit. It's a really cool trick that we can make with this. Wrapping things up, when we look at a page like this, we have a standard image header, we have some text in there, we have some call to action sections where we're clicking on some kind of a link. Maybe we have some gallery or some other text accordingly, and maybe we'll bring in a final contact form. Now, a contact form is going to be a plugin, and we teach you all about plugins and how to use many of the different plugins that we're going to talk about in here. But one of the plugins that we have preloaded is called WP Forms. In WP Forms, we simply drag out, just like we've done all these other sections, we drop it right there, and we choose a form. And we have a simple contact form that came pre-installed with the plugin, and you can see right there, we have a nice contact form. By simply updating the page and hitting the preview button, we have a full web page designed quickly. We can go back into sections like this one right here and create different spacing using those paddings in the advanced settings, or we can create different colors to break up that white on the page and have sections like this where it tends to make your eye look a little bit better when you're reading it and focus your attention a little bit more. We can add images like we did up above, and we can continue to make this a little bit more interesting. But these same steps that we're teaching here, these same steps that we're looking at in this demonstration, is the same stuff that was done to bring us back to this page right here, or any of these pages within this site. And all of these same tricks, from dropping background images, to heading text, to sections, to images, to text, to changing colors and fonts, to creating this anchor navigation, was all done with these same tricks that we talked about. So there's a quick demonstration in WordPress, a quick demonstration in the curriculum that you're going to learn inside of Web Design Essentials within the graphic design program here at Specs Howard.
Thanks, Jeremy. You're a gem. And that's just one of the cool things you're going to learn in our graphic design program. So one thing we do really well at the Specs Howard School of Media Arts has to do with our Career Services Department. Literally, their entire job is to get internship and job opportunities in front of our students. Here's Nancy Shiner to tell us more.
Hi, I'm Nancy Shiner, Director of Career Services. We like to work with students as soon as orientation. We want to get to know you. We want you to pop into our offices. We do virtual Zoom calls. We want to get to know you to figure out what you're looking to do, because a year goes by awfully quickly, and we want to make sure you're set and focused on your job path. We have quite a few services available for our students. While our students are in school, they're eligible for internship opportunities, one-on-one guidance and counseling. As you continue to go through your program, we have a career prep class in the last semester, which deals with resume writing, interviewing skills, job techniques. We're kind of preparing you for that job when you graduate. And then upon graduation, you're eligible to use our services for various job opportunities. We also have Facebook groups that we post our job leads in, and we just work one-on-one with each student, trying to figure out what you're looking to do, and we help you through the process. It's a real partnership here. Internships are so important in this business for a couple of reasons. It's something you can put on your resume, shows that you have some experience prior to graduation, and it's a great time to network with industry people and to get a feel for what you like to do. You know, you may say, you know, I want to be on air, and then you intern at a TV station and you're like, wow, it's really cool to work in a production room, or vice versa with graphic design or digital media. So if you can take the time to do an internship, we highly recommend that opportunity for you. We work with each individual student as far as job placement opportunities. No job is guaranteed in any line of work. It's up to the graduate to go out and sell themselves in the interview. What we do for you on our end is we help you network with employers. We'll make phone calls. If you find a job that you think is going to be so awesome for you, you can call me and say, hey, can you give them a call and see if they'd be willing to take my resume? So we are in partnership with our graduates to assist you with finding work in the industry. Because of our history and being around for 50 years, we know a lot of employers. We get a lot of job opportunities that come through our doors, so we are always passing those opportunities on to our graduates. But again, it's going to be up to you to sell yourself in the business in an interview situation and rock it and start that opportunity. We work with so many employers. You know, over the years we've expanded. We were just a broadcast school way back when, so it was all radio and television. Now we've expanded to corporate America. We have employers such as Quicken Loans, Channel 4, Channel 7, all the local radio stations, iHeartMedia. We deal with real estate companies now because they're now doing virtual tours and using drones to shoot video. As far as graphic opportunities, every employer looks for a website. Everybody's looking to market their business. You name it. That's why I always recommend to a student, if there's something you want to do and there's a company you feel like you would be a good fit for, let us help you network yourself and get into that opportunity. Let us make those phone calls for you because you'll never know where you'll find that next opportunity. Be open-minded and just go for it. And those opportunities will come your way and you'll have a successful career in the media industry.
Thanks, Nancy, and make sure you guys get into that career services office as soon as you can. They're a really, really good resource. Next, we want to talk to some graphic design graduates who are actually out in the industry working. Take it away, guys.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us today, ladies. So happy to have you as a part of our grad panel today. What I'd like to do is maybe have us start off by having you just introduce yourselves. Let us know what your name is, where you're currently working, and what it is that you do. And how about if we start with Shelby today?
All right. So my name's Shelby. I am an advertising and marketing specialist at Davis Van Bush Insurance. Basically what my job is I'm in control of all of the advertising that happens for the company. So if someone needs one of our billboards done, I tell them what we're going to design on it. I design it for them, and then I send it out basically for all of the marketing things for the company.
All right, that's great. And next, Kate, sorry. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Kate. My title at Loud Baby, which is a small web development company, my title is content manager, but I kind of wear all the hats. I do everything from web design to logo design to promos, anything you need, I got it.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it gives you a nice variety of things to do every day.
Never know what you're going to do with your day.
And Kate, what is it that you did before you came to Specs Howard and got into graphic design?
I was working in fast food. I was going to a 4-year college for a fine art degree and found my way to specs.
All right, that's fantastic. And Shelby, how about you? What did you do before?
I think I was working at a movie theater and I was trying to figure out what to do. I was changing my major at college after college and trying to figure out where to go, and then I found specs.
Okay, excellent. And what made you get into graphic design?
I think for me, I don't. It was just one of those things where it was like, oh, I really like this. You know, in high school, I really liked all the art classes that we were taking, and I would excel in all of those versus like a science or a math. And I don't know, it just clicked one day, and I was like, that's what I want to do.
All right. So, and I know, Kate, you said that you were already in fine arts. So, was your goal to ultimately do graphic design, or were you headed in a different direction that maybe changed?
I had every intention of going to school to become a like print illustrator.
Mhm.
And I went to 2 different colleges. I did all of the basic gen ed classes and nothing was fitting right. It just didn't feel right. And I had really no idea what graphic design was before I came to Specs for an open house. And then after I went through the walkthrough and sat down and talked to them about like what the curriculum was about, I was just like, this is all I've ever wanted to do. Like, this is actually what I would be doing, like with that illustration degree that I wanted to get, but it just fast tracked.
There you go. We love a good fast track, right? So, Kate, how about if you share with us maybe a memory that you have of Specs Howard that just kind of stands out for you?
Ooh, okay. One of my favorites was I was about halfway through the second semester and I was struggling with a project because I had a very concise idea of what I wanted to display, but my instructor was trying to, you know, nudge me in the direction of something that would probably be better suited for it. And I just remember going to a different instructor and being like, I just want to do this my way. And they were like, tell your instructor. Tell your instructor that you want to do it your way. Like, don't let anyone stand in your way. Your instructor will listen to you. And I went to my instructor, we talked about it, and she was able to help me flush out the idea to a point where it would have been presentable and better for the product I was creating. So
That's
always knew how to
fantastic.
push me the right way.
That's wonderful. And I'm so glad that you had that experience and that you were able to really feel free to open up and to ask, you know, and to let them know too that, hey, I have an idea and I'd really like to see how this flushes out. So,
Right.
and our
Yeah.
instructors
Great.
here,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great safe space to be doing that in.
All right. Fantastic. And how about you, Shelby? What's a favorite memory for you?
This one's a harder question, I feel like. I feel like one of my favorite, one of my instructors, he was just, it was when you would ask him something you didn't feel uncomfortable asking, or like very, I'm trying to think of the right word to say. It was just like hanging out with a friend. You're like, oh, hey, you know, how do you do this? And they were just, oh, this is how you do it. And it's just like very relaxed and very comfortable. I think it was a web, which I feel like is very kind of intense for everybody when they hear web, because when I went there, we did coding. So having an instructor like that, where he was like, oh, this is how you do it. And it was just like, it just made the learning process of that so much more comfortable and easy to ask something.
All right, fantastic. And so what are some of the skills that you learned at Specs Howard? What are some of the skills that you use on a day-to-day basis today in your job?
Me first.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's for Shelby.
Okay. Honestly, all of them. For me, whenever I'm doing anything that needs something with Illustrator, it was all the Illustrator. You know, I have photography stuff from going to Specs. We do everything through WordPress. So at work, when I have to change something on our website, every class had something that I use every single day at work.
Okay, and Kate, how about you? What are some of the skills that you're using on a day-to-day that you learned at Specs?
Pretty much the same. Most of my stuff is designated for web, so I don't use Illustrator quite as much. I do have to use Illustrator for the occasional print logo design, but mostly WordPress. Most of my work is in WordPress. Everything I learned in Specs, I needed. Photoshop, absolutely every day. That's even helped me with my photography as well, and InDesign for any like corporate type of letterhead and that type of design as well. So yeah, everything I needed, I learned there.
Right. That's fantastic. So what is it that you love about what you do at Loud Baby?
I think I love the variety. I love that I never know what my day is going to be like. I could be designing a completely new website. I could be designing the brand of like a new artist. I could do, there's so much stuff. I love it. It's so overwhelming that I enjoy so much of the job.
And how about you, Shelby? What is it that you love, or are there like particular things that you do on a day-to-day basis that just, you know, make you like want to run to work every day?
I think mine is it's not the same thing every day. I feel like, not to bash on anybody else's job, but it's not like you're going and you're being an accountant every day where it's like you have to do this every day and you have to do that. It's, you know, this person needs this today and this account needs that today. So you have to, it's just like a variety of things that you get to do. So it's not, you're not bored with the same thing, and you know, you're not creating the same document. You're making something new, you're drawing something new, you're editing something new. So it's just, for someone that likes something new, it's really nice.
And I know there's some confidentiality things that go on in graphic design, but Shelby, is there a project that you can talk about that you really enjoyed being a part of?
I'm trying to think. There was that we did through Specs.
No, that you do in your day-to-day.
Okay, so we do like a lot of what my job is doing stuff through social media. So I do a lot of like editing for ads, and when we're trying to get people active on our social media, I do a lot of that. Stuff like that. I don't know if that really answered that one that well.
Well, it's all about what we enjoy, right?
Right. Yeah.
So Kate, is there a project that you've worked on through Loud Baby that you just really like loved and enjoyed and would love to do over and over again?
I had one project that it's still not off the ground, but I completed my section of it, which was just, it was so amazing. It's this it's a nonprofit that's based out of Detroit that I had to build a complete website for, and every part of the website is made in Slider Revolution, so that each panel of the website has some sort of animation and like beautiful like text in break, so that like the whole website feels like it's in motion. And I was so proud because that was like the second website that I did completely on my own at my new company, and I was just like, I did it and it looks so good and it looks like something people would visit. That's crazy to me. I just love it. I'm like so proud of my work.
It is so wonderful to see the pride that both of you have in what it is that you're doing for your respective companies. So I'm super glad that you're both really enjoying your careers and that you've, you know, made some really remarkable moves. So with that being said, what kind of advice, Kate, do you have for anybody who's maybe considering coming to the graphics program here at Specs Howard?
I would say try it because you'll love it. Like, you go into this being like so scared. Like, I had no idea how to use a Mac laptop before I showed up on my first day, but by the time I was leaving, I was pretty much an expert. And I just like, Specs just has like that like family home feeling that you don't get anywhere else. There's so little amount of people with such an attentive teacher in every class. And I was terrified going into it, not knowing anything about Photoshop or any type of software, and being like, what the heck is code? I don't know. And I felt so secure leaving there. I just try it. Just try it. Give it a go. I mean, it opens up so many doors. It really does.
Great advice. And how about you, Shelby? Do you have some advice for folks who might be considering the program?
Yeah, it kind of same thing as hers. It's just so comfortable. Everybody makes you feel like welcome and they want you to be there. It's not like you're walking into class and you're like terrified of an exam. Like the instructors just want you to succeed. They're going to do everything they can to make you succeed. And, you know, every graphic designer is going to be different on what they like and don't like. So they know how to like have a variety of different designers in a room. And, you know, this person likes this kind of scale colors. And it's so, like you said, it's like a family almost. So it's just very comfortable.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And my last question to each of you, and we'll go ahead and start with Shelby. Shelby, what was your experience like with the Career Services Department?
Awesome. I feel like when right at the end when we did all of the interviews and like how to present your portfolio, it really teaches you how to go into an interview. You know, I've moved jobs a couple times, you know, as I grow, and I feel so prepared I'm comfortable going into interviews. I know how to show them things that I think they really want to see for like hiring purposes and whatnot. But yeah, it was just, they train you on how to speak professionally and act professionally that an employer would want to see, I feel like. So good.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much. And Kate, how about you? Have you had a good experience with the Career Services Department?
I adore the career service ladies. Shannon Bennett is a force of nature. Nancy is wonderful. Both of them, I've been out of the classroom for a year, and both of them still send me freelance opportunities because they think this would be perfect for Kate. And they just keep asking me and keep asking me, even if I decline because I'm like too busy with work. And they're just like, we're going to let her know that we still have stuff for her if she wants it. I love them, and everything that they did for us, like you said, with the resumes and helping you to speak more professionally. I take my resume to places and they're like, this is beautiful. And I'm like, I know, they helped me. I got it all taken care of with the career service ladies.
That's so fantastic. I'm happy to hear that you're having excellent results with the career preparation as well. And, you know, even the after stuff. And like you said, you know, Career Services is there to help. We really enjoy helping our students. Our greatest successes are your successes. So thank you so much, ladies. I truly appreciate both of you being here with us today and for answering these questions. And I look forward to seeing all of the wonderful things that you still have to do in your future. So thank you so much for your time.
So cool to see so many of our graduates out there working now in the graphic design industry. And that about wraps it up for our graphic design demo days. If you want more information, it's really easy. Just go to spexhoward.edu/appointment and you can book an in-person meeting here at the school in Southfield, or we can do it online on Zoom, contactless, whatever you're comfortable with. Either way, we'll make sure you get all your questions answered. If you're ready to enroll, just go to spexhoward.edu/enroll and you can do the entire enrollment process from home. So that'll wrap it up for our graphic design demo days here at the Specs Howard School of Media Arts. On behalf of the entire Specs family, again, my name's Chris. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you soon.